getting a lot of what I thought I wanted made it a little bit hard to totally rely on God, because it may just be me, but I think sometimes when I have everything in front of me laid out exactly how I planned it, it's hard to envision why I would need God making my plans, why I couldn't just handle this myself. I showed up in New York City so enthusiastic about my new law firm, and my subway stop was Times Square. When I took the subway, I would get out of the subway, and I felt like, some kind of New York person. I felt almost a little like Mary Tyler Moore in that old show where she throws her hat up into the air. Like, I really felt like, wow, I really made it. I'm in the big city. This is so exciting, in a kind of cheesy way. I started out in New York with, making more money than I had imagined. At some point, I started to feel like I was spinning my wheels a little bit. I was working, 80, 90, 100-hour weeks at times, and I didn't feel like it was particularly meaningful to me. It felt empty, and it wasn't. I don't know if it's my personality or if it's just the way I'm built, but I think I need to be doing something that I believe in. And I had kind of suppressed that. I had kind of not let myself go there, or just really it didn't cross my mind. I got to work on this pro bono case at my firm, and it was a domestic violence victim. She needed spousal support. She was pretty much destitute, and I had this great experience in victory in court, really, where she got an award of $80 a week. And it was a really big deal, and I went out for dinner with my friends that night, and part of what I was doing is celebrating. And it was a nice dinner. The bill came. They passed around, how much each person owed, and I realized my share of the bill was $80. I think that was kind of like a punch in the stomach, because I felt really tangibly the difference in what $80 meant to her and what it meant to me. And I think that was kind of an awakening. That moment really made me think, what am I doing with my money? What is the value of money? I think most people who come to New York have a lot of talents, gifts, different abilities. And I think, especially in New York City, serving the city means a lot of different things. I think for me, it means using my gifts and using my abilities to do work that actually makes the city around me, a better place. So once I made up my mind I was going to leave the firm, after I interviewed for this job, which I really wanted, I wasn't sure that I would get it by any means. It was a really competitive job to get, and
did you get it?
I did get it. I prosecute crimes. What I do is put pieces together of a puzzle, figure out the truth. The truth is paramount to what I do.
Great, thank you. Have a good day.
I know you, but I don't understand.
Yeah. I took a job that made more than $100,000 less than my job at the firm. It was a pretty huge change in the amount I was making. I couldn't stay in the same apartment because my entire paycheck would go to the rent. So I had to figure out a different neighborhood I could live in, a different kind of apartment. what I realized was there were things in my life that I could sacrifice, and by sacrificing them, it would be a way to be generous and specifically to give back to the church and to God, because I felt like what he'd done for me was so meaningful and valuable that I wanted to give something back in return. So I kind of challenged myself to look for ways in which I could cut back expenses. I think my experience kind of led me to realize that generosity wasn't about how much I had or how much extra I had. Because in a way, like when you see the people who are really generous in the Bible, it's the widow who gives away the last penny that she has. And I think when I think about generosity, meaningful generosity is giving in a way that actually affects you. I think God wants to see us being the best people that we can be, the ones he created us to be. And so I think when we're generous and when we give out of a sense of gratitude and out of motives that are pure, I think it makes God happy. Sounds like a simplistic way to say it, but I think it does.